Hello viewers, welcome to Uvolve, the channel for database and data professionals. In this tutorial, I am going to demonstrate how to upgrade the operating system of a database server with Oracle RDBMS release 19.3 database from 64-bit Oracle Linux release 7.9 to release 8.10. So viewers, we are going to use the utility called Leapp from Red Hat for this upgrade, which makes it extremely easy to do this in-place upgrade activity. I am going to use full command prompt and not any GUI for this upgrade and show you how to resolve the most common upgrade issues or conflicts to complete the upgrade process successfully. For this demo, I am going to use my virtual learning environment created using Oracle VirtualBox virtual machines. If you want to create your virtual environment for learning database, Unix, Linux, networking, etc., please watch my series on Oracle VirtualBox virtual machines using the link that I have given in the description of this video below. Also, I am sharing the commands that I am using in this demo in a shared document in my Google Drive. You can copy the commands using the link in the description of this video below. Let me first go to the server which we are going to upgrade and show you the environment. Currently, I logged in to the candidate server as Oracle user who is the owner of all Oracle installations on the server. But for actual upgrade activity, we have to use the root user, of course. Now first let's check the kernel using the command uname -r. And we see it is 64-bit Enterprise Linux 7 with unbreakable enterprise kernel. And we'll check the Oracle Linux release. Just cat the etc oracle-release and we see it's Oracle Linux server release 7.9, and also we will check the Red Hat release using the etc Red Hat-release file, and where we can see that it's Red Hat Enterprise Linux server release 7.9. I am outlining the prerequisite steps first, and then I will show them all in action one by one for this Oracle Linux server. The same steps will work for upgrading Red Hat Enterprise Linux server from release 7.9 to 8.10 also. Please note that all these steps may not be applicable for your environment. First, close all the applications and shut down any databases on the server, as the upgrade process will reboot the server, and also that will need to update a lot of components using server resources heavily. Second, back up the system. It is very important, so you get everything back as they were before in case your upgrade fails. Third, disable plugin version locks if applied, as that is going to interfere with the upgrade. Number 4, disable secure boot. If you are not using UEFI, then don't worry about that. Number 5, verify system locale, that is nothing but the Unicode and language used by the server. Number 6, disable NFS, and we'll be able to remount the NFS file systems once our upgrade is completed. Number 7, configure YAM proxy if you are using a proxy to connect to the internet, otherwise skip. Number 8, update all packages to avoid any incompatibility issues. Number 9, close if any virtual machines are running, or skip the step if there is no VMs running in your server. Number 10, unregister from ULN, that is the Unbreakable Linux Network. As we are using Oracle Linux, so we don't have to worry about this step, because we will use YAM repository from Oracle for this upgrade. This is required only for Red Hat Enterprise Linux upgrades. And once all these 10 steps are done, we will start the actual upgrade. Now let's see all these in action. Now let's go back to the session that we established to the candidate server using Oracle user. This server is hosting an Oracle 19.3 database named OEM repo, which is actually used as a repository database for one of my OEM 13.5 systems, then a related listener named listener_OEM, and one OEM 13.5 agent. Let me show you those in another Oracle session. First, I'll cat the etc ora tab to show you the database that is with the SID OEM repo, and that is running from the 19.3 Oracle home. And next, the listener using psef grab tns. This is the listener which is also running from the 19.3 home. And then the EM agent using psef grep EM agent, and as we can see, it is running from the 13.5 agent home. As a standard prerequisite, before upgrading any server, we should always check if the software or applications installed on the server are compatible with the new target version of the operating system or not. In this case, we will check if the Oracle 19.3 and the OEM agent version 13.5 are compatible with the target Linux version 8.10 or not. You may already know it, but I want to show you the best method to check it from My Oracle Supports Certification Matrix webpage. So once you logged in to the My Oracle Supports website, go to the Certifications tab, and there under the product box, you select the Oracle Database RDBMS, and in the release, select your candidate release, that is the 19. Then in the platform, you can keep the any as the value and press the search button. And in the output, check which are the operating system versions accepted for the Oracle 19c database. So there we can see that in the Linux x86 64 architecture, we see 9 versions are supported. There we can see that Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9, 8, 7 and Oracle Linux 9, 8 up to 7, these are all supported versions. So in our case, we are upgrading to Oracle Linux 8.x, so we are good. Next, go back to the certifications search option again, and this time we will remove the Oracle database, and then we'll select the Enterprise Manager base platform, which includes the agent software, that is agent, cloud control, grid control, OEM, etc. So we'll select this, and from the release options, I will select the 13.5, let the platform be any, then press the search button, and there we can see that the supported operating systems in the Linux x86 64 architecture, in that line we are able to see that Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9, 8, 7 and 6 are supported, along with Oracle Linux 9, 8.x and up to 7. So here also we are good. So now we have the confirmation that all our packages, programs or softwares on the server will support the new Oracle Linux 8.10 version, and there will not be any compatibility issue. So I will first shut down the database, then I will stop the listener. Make sure before shutting down the database, any dependent application is already stopped. In this case, our OEM system or the OMS is already stopped. We don't have to stop the EM agent, as agent will be automatically shut down or started up along with the server. We will open another duplicate cell with Oracle user. Let's increase the screen size. Then let's set the Oracle environment for the repository database name OEM repo. Then we will log in as sysdba, and we will shut down the database first, and then we'll shut down the listener. Let's exit from the SQL prompt, and then we'll stop the listener using lsnrctl stop, and the name of the listener is also listener underscore OEM, and the listener is stopped. Now let's go back to the first session, and then we will switch user to root user to run the remaining commands. So su -root, so I have two sessions now, one with the root user and the other with the Oracle user. Now the second thing we need to do is to back up the system. If you are using a virtual machine, then you need to take a snapshot. If you are in a physical server, then back up all the important files. Take a storage level snapshot of the file systems if available. Full backup of the database. As this is my virtual server created using Oracle VirtualBox virtual machines, so I have already taken a virtual machine snapshot. Then we'll disable the yum plugin version locks. To check that if a plugin version lock is applied, we can use the command rpm-qa grep yum plugin version lock. If there is an existence of this particular package, then there is a plugin version lock applied. And this command did not return anything, means we don't have the yum plugin version lock enabled. In case in your system the plugin version lock is enabled, I have given the command to disable it. Then you need to disable the secure boot. As I am not using UEFI BIOS, so I don't have to worry about disabling the secure boot. Again, if in your system secure boot is enabled, you can disable it using the command that I have given in my shared document. Then we will verify the system locale. To do that, we will simply cat the etc locale.conf file, and we see that language equals to English US and the format is UTF-8. Again, in case it is not set in your environment, you can use the command that I have given in the shared document. Then we have to disable the NFS. So you can check if there is any NFS in your system. As in my system, there is no NFS file systems, so I don't have to worry about disabling that or unmounting that. Next, we need to configure the yum proxy. If in your server you are configuring a proxy server to connect to the internet, then you have to configure that. But in my server, there is no proxy, so I don't have to worry. Again, I have given the command how to configure the proxy in my shared document. Then next, we will update all packages using yum update space -y. And this process is going to take from a few minutes up to a few hours, depending on how many components or packages you have installed. I will pause the video and I will resume it once the yum update command is completed. So after around 45 minutes, the yum update command has been successfully completed. And the next thing we need to do is to check if there is any virtual machine running in this server. So we'll use virsh list -- all command to find out if there is any virtual machine running, and it has returned no virtual machines. So we are good. Then the last prerequisite check is to unregister from ULN. And as I have already explained, we are using the yum Oracle repository and we are not using the ULN. So we can ignore this step. But if you are using Red Hat Enterprise Linux, then you have to follow that step. Now all our prerequisite steps have been successfully completed. Next, we are going to reboot the server using reboot command. And once the reboot has been completed, we'll be able to re-establish the SSH session using root user to continue with the remaining activities. And as we can see, our Linux server on the virtual machine is currently rebooting. And the reboot has been completed. Now let's go back to our SSH session. And we will re-establish our session, that is the root session, using a duplicate tab. Let's increase the screen size again. And then we need to check the list of repositories using yum repo list. And as you can see, it's complaining about a couple of duplicate repositories or mention of the repositories more than one time. I'm intentionally keeping these issues so I can show you how to fix them. And the next thing we need to do for the upgrade activity is the Leapp utility. So we will use the command yum install -y leap -- enable repo equals to ol7 leap, ol7 latest. So these are the two repositories that we are going to use to install the Leapp utility. Press enter. And this installation should be completed within a minute or so. And as we can see, the installation of Leapp utility completed within a minute. So now we are almost ready to run the pre-upgrade steps. But before that, if you need to enable any repositories, do that now. If not, then skip to pre-upgrade step. And to do that, we will simply use the command leap pre-upgrade -- Oracle Linux. So you have to specify the type of the server instance. As it's a local VM, you can consider it as an on-premise server. So we are using Oracle Linux. If your Oracle server instance is hosted in Oracle Cloud or any other cloud, so you have to specify that accordingly. For example, if it is in the Oracle Cloud, you have to specify --OCI in this command. And we will press enter to start the pre-upgrade process, which is going to give us some report about the upgrade feasibility. So this pre-upgrade step is going to take a couple of minutes. I will pause the video and I will resume once this step is completed along with a report which we are going to analyze for the remaining steps. And after around 5 minutes, the pre-upgrade step has been completed, giving us a report. And an overview of the report has given us the information about the high and medium severity of the issues found while testing the upgrade. And we have to address those high and medium issues at least before we can proceed with the upgrade activity. Please note that the detailed report is also available in this location in the form of a text file. Now, first of all, in the top section, we can see upgrade has been inhibited due to the following problems. So these two problems are the most severe ones, which will not allow us to proceed with the upgrade. So we have to address them first. That is, the multiple devel kernels are installed. So we have to keep only the one that we want to use. The second one is the missing required answers in the answer file. That is going to be simple, and we are going to take care of that in a minute. Then the high and medium severity reports, where it has some informational messages also. Number one, package available in excluded repositories will not be installed. We are fine with that. Grab2 core will be automatically updated during the upgrade. That's fine. Difference in Python versions and support in Oracle Linux 8. We are okay with that. If you are using Python, then you have to test it after the upgrade and make appropriate arrangements so your Python scripts and everything is working as expected. Then default boot kernel. And you can go through all of this, and based on your system, you have to take appropriate actions. Then the report summary, where we can see errors 0, inhibitors 2, as we can see at the top, and high severity reports are 3, medium severity reports are 6, and low severity reports are 5. Out of this, the low and the informational severity reports we can ignore, but others we have to take care. And also, let's take a look at the text version of the report file. I will open it in VI editor to go over the items. Please note that most of the items will have their corresponding remediation summary and the commands to remediate the issue. We will open another duplicate root session so we can execute the remediation commands. Let's increase the screen size. Then go back to the report window. Then we will copy the remediation command mentioned for the first high severity item, which is going to delete the additional devel kernels, keeping only one which we are going to use. Let's go to the second root session and simply paste the command and execute, which is going to take a few seconds to remove the additional kernels, and it's done. Then go back to the report file again, and in the second inhibitor, we can see the command to fix that. So we'll simply copy this command, go to the other session, paste it, and that is done. And the third one with the high risk factor is packages available in excluded repositories will not be installed. Actually, we are fine with that. Now let's go down to see the remaining risk factors. graph2 core will be automatically updated during the upgrade. So we are fine with that. Then the next one, it says differences in Python version and support in Oracle Linux 8. Again, we are okay with that. So all the high severity risks are actually taken care. And next, we can go to the risk factor at level medium. And it says the default boot kernel. That is fine, because after the upgrade, it is going to take the new kernel with Oracle Linux 8. Then the next one, medium, cronny using default configuration. This is fine. Then the next one, upgrade can be performed, but KDE will be uninstalled. Again, we are okay with that. Then risk factor medium, upgrade can be performed, but KDE/Qt apps will be uninstalled. Again, we are okay with that. Then we will arrive at the risk factors with severity low, and then we will simply ignore them. Again, if in your system there is something that you cannot ignore, you have to take care of that beforehand. So now we can close this report. And now let's run the pre-upgrade step one more time to see the final status. So I'll simply scroll up to find the command histories. So I'm going to run it again, leap pre-upgrade -- Oracle Linux. Again, it is going to take a couple of minutes. I will pause the video and I'll resume once overview or the summary of the pre-upgrade process is displayed in the screen. Okay, so after around 5 minutes, it has given the report. And again, we can see at the top, there is one inhibitor which is saying upgrade has been inhibited due to the following problem, that is a yum DNF repository defined multiple times. And that is nothing but duplicate repository entries in the repository configuration. So to find out which are the repositories with duplicate entries, we will open the text file again. That is the text version of the report. So we'll go to the other SSH session and we will simply do a VI of the text file. And at the top, we see that although it is shown as medium inhibitor, we have to take care of this. That is a yum DNF repository defined multiple times. So these are all the repositories which have duplicate entries. And I'm going to use a simple command to find out the repository configuration with duplicate entries. We'll copy this name and then go to the other window. We'll simply do a grep, then the repository name and the configuration file, that is etc yum.repos.d/star.repo. Any repository configuration where this entry is made multiple times, it will give us all the results. And it has mentioned 2 repository configuration files with this particular repository. At this stage, you can open either of these files and remove the duplicate entries, or you can remove the repository configuration file itself. I am using the second method because it is going to be quicker. Anyway, I don't need those repositories. So I am going to remove the second one, keeping the public one. It's asking for a confirmation, press Y. Also note that if required, I will be able to bring this repository back or even an updated repository in the OL8 once the upgrade is completed. Similarly, I will search for the second duplicate entry, that is OL7 KVM utils, which is mentioned in the report in the second place. And again, it has given us 2 repositories. So I am going to keep the public one and remove the other one. Again, if you want, you can simply remove the duplicate entry instead of removing the repository configuration file itself. And this way, I am going to take care of a couple of more duplicate entries also. Oops, I did a copy paste mistake. Let's paste it again. First file is anyway not there. Second file, yes. Third file, yes. So I believe I have taken care of all the duplicate entries. And now we are ready to execute our final upgrade command. Let's clear the screen. And then I am going to simply paste the command leap upgrade -- Oracle Linux. Press enter. and this upgrade activity is going to take at least an hour. I will pause the video and I will resume once this command is completed and we get our prompt back. So it has been almost 1.5 hours since we started the upgrade process, and we can see that the upgrade command has given the final output. And at this stage, we have to reboot the server. If you want, you can take a look at the report overview, which is at the screen. And as we have come to know before, during the pre-upgrade check, we saw the high and medium severity reports, which we have ignored. And if we scroll a little up, we'll be able to see that the message, a reboot is required to continue. Please reboot your system, this message. And if you want, you can go to this particular report in the text format later on. Now we will reboot our system. And in the virtual machine console, we are able to see that our virtual machine is getting rebooted. We will wait until this reboot is complete. I am pausing the video for now, and I will resume it once the reboot is completed, along with the remaining parts of the upgrade activity. So the upgrade process has upgraded 3,950 components so far, and it is still in progress. Okay, so after around 1 hour and 30 minutes, the upgrade process has completed upgrading all the components, and we got the login prompt. Now we will go back to the root session and we will re-establish it. And the session has been established. Now the first thing we are going to check is the kernel, that is uname -r. And we see that now it is Enterprise Linux kernel 8. And then we will check the Oracle Linux release using the cat etc Oracle release. And as we can see, it's Oracle Linux Server release 8.10 now. Similarly, we'll also check the Red Hat release. And there also we can see that it's now release 8.10. So our upgrade has been completed. Now the next thing we need to check is whether our database and the listener are successfully coming up. So first thing, we will go back to our Oracle session and we'll re-establish it. And first we'll set up the environment using Aura env OEM repo is the database. And first we'll start the database after login as sysdba. Then startup, open, and the database has been started. Next, let's start the listener with the name listener OEM, and the listener has been started. And now we can say that our database server OS upgrade has been successfully completed. The total time taken by the prerequisite pre-upgrade and the component upgrade after the reboot was around 3 hours, and that is an acceptable downtime in most of the cases. So viewers, please provide your feedback in the comment section of the video and hit the like button if you found it useful. That will mean a lot to me and help grow this channel.